Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Marco, your guide through history. Today we travel to one of the most powerful cities the world has ever seen, the year 1300. Close your eyes for a moment, and when you open them, we are walking through the canals of Venice.
It is a morning in the year 1300, and Venice is waking up as the richest trading republic on earth. The city holds between 110,000 and 180,000 people, one of the largest in Europe. The entire city sits on 118 small islands, connected by more than 400 bridges. There is not a single horse here. No road, no cart, no hoofbeats. Everything moves by boat. Venice is not a kingdom. It is a republic, led by an elected doge. Just 3 years ago, Doge Pietro Gradenigo passed a law called the Serrata, permanently fixing the ruling class to a list of noble families. And somewhere in this city, a man named Marco Polo has just returned from 24 years in Asia, carrying a story no one believes.
This reconstruction uses AI-powered technology based on Venetian trade records and merchant chronicles, supplemented by archaeological findings and state archives from the early 14th century.
Our route takes us through 7 stops, from dawn on the lagoon to nightfall, when torches flicker along dark canals and the last gondolas pass without a sound.
We start here at the lagoon, where the city meets the sea.
The lagoon stretches flat in every direction. It is not the sea, not exactly. It is a shallow body of enclosed water separated from the Adriatic by thin strips of land. In some places, you could wade across it. In others, the depth drops without warning and the cold takes you before you know it's happening. The light is pale silver. Morning mist sits just above the surface, and already the city is loud. Oars cutting water, men calling across the fog in Venetian dialect, the slap of a net thrown from a flat-bottomed boat, the creak of heavy rope against a wooden post. Somewhere further out, a bell rings on a merchant galley turning toward the dock. Fishermen are returning. They went out in darkness, and now they pull their boats alongside the stone quays. Mullet, eel, sea bream. Their hands are dark and salt-cracked. A fish seller is already standing on the dock before the nets are untied. He shouts a price. The fisherman shouts back. An agreement reached in seconds. No paper, no contract, no witnesses. Everyone here knows exactly what everything costs. Further along the quay, the larger ships are docking. These are merchant galleys, long, low, heavy in the water. Some are arriving from Alexandria, from Beirut, from Constantinople. What they carry does not come from here, it comes from China, from Persia, from the Spice Islands of the East. Pepper still warm from its long journey. Raw silk folded in cloth from Central Asian looms. Dyes so rare that a thimbleful is worth a month's wages for the man hauling it off the ship. Count the masts visible from where you stand. This lagoon is not just a beautiful setting. It is Venice's survival. No land army has ever reached this city. The water keeps invaders out and lets merchants in. It is the wall, the moat, and the highway, all at once. For 600 years, that lagoon has kept this city alive. The docks are waking up. The market is opening. Move inland, if you can call it that, in a city where inland still means water.
Follow me to the Rialto, the beating heart of Venetian trade.
Cross the wooden Rialto Bridge, the only crossing of the Grand Canal that exists in 1300, and the sound changes before you are even halfway across. Voices in 6 languages, maybe 8, Greek, Arabic, Persian, Latin, Venetian, German from the back of a large crowd to your left. The Rialto has been Venice's commercial centre since the 11th century. By 1300, it is the closest thing to a global market that exists anywhere on Earth. Stalls run in rows around the small church of San Giacomo di Rialto, the oldest church in Venice, built, they say, over 800 years ago. The stall covers are rough cloth. Under them, spices, pepper, the most valuable commodity in medieval Europe. A single pound costs roughly a day's wages for a skilled craftsman. It sits in tied sacks behind a merchant from Syria who has not slept properly in 3 weeks. He came through Alexandria. He will not leave until every sack is sold. Next to him, cinnamon from Ceylon. Nutmeg from islands so distant that most of the people buying it cannot name where those islands are. Cloves. Ginger. Saffron so vivid it makes the cloth it touches look like it is glowing. The smell is extraordinary. Warm, sharp, foreign. It cuts through the salt air and the canal mud behind you and turns the morning into something richer, something that does not belong here. Evidence in your nostrils that the world is far larger than anything visible from this bridge. The prices set at this market today will determine what pepper costs in Paris next month. In London, 3 months from now. In markets no one standing here has ever visited. Beside the spice traders, cloth, silk from China, cotton from Egypt, wool from England, arriving here to be dyed and resold at profit. Between the stalls, moneylenders on wooden benches, banshee. The word bank will eventually come from this bench. In 1300, Venice runs the most advanced financial system in the Western world. Credit, insurance, written contracts. A Venetian merchant can send money from this market to a buyer in Cairo without a single coin changing hands. This is not a market. It is the financial architecture of the medieval world, running from a wooden bridge above a canal. Time to step back from the crowd. The Grand Canal is waiting.
Come with me to the Grand Canal, the main road of Venice.
The Grand Canal runs in a long S-curve through the center of Venice, roughly 4 kilometers end to end, between 30 and 90 meters wide, up to 5 meters deep in places. Watch what is passing right now. A flat cargo barge sitting low in the water, loaded with cut stone for a building site. A long patrician gondola, more decorated than the working boats, carrying a merchant and his servant to a meeting across the city. A smaller boat selling vegetables, calling prices up to the open windows above. The palaces on both banks rise directly from the canal. There is no footpath between the building and the water. The front door of a Venetian palazzo opens straight onto the canal. Visitors arrive by boat, goods arrive by boat. Everything that enters or leaves this city does it on the water. Now stop and notice something missing. There is no sound of wheels, no carts, no horses breathing, no iron shoes striking stone. Every other city in Europe is defined by road noise. Venice has none. The canal is the road, the water is the street. And that absence, that absolute silence where wheels should be, makes Venice feel like a different kind of world entirely. Around 1,000 gondolas operate in this city right now. Strict rules already govern how they look. In later centuries, a law will require them all painted black to stop the wealthy from competing in ever more extravagant decoration. Right now, they come in different colors. Some have painted prows. Some carry small covered cabins for wealthy passengers. Look up at the buildings. The great Gothic palaces Venice is famous for are not yet built. Those come next century. What you see now are earlier structures. Byzantine arched windows, brick and stone, rounded arches that came back on Venetian ships from Constantinople after 1204, columns stripped from Byzantine temples, marble taken from across the eastern Mediterranean. Venice looks like no other city in Europe because it was built with pieces taken from every civilization it encountered. The canal will stay full until dark. Move south. St. Mark's is next.
Now we reach St. Mark's Square, the showpiece of the Republic.
You step out of a narrow alley and the world opens up. A vast stone square, 175 meters long, lined with arcaded buildings on 3 sides. And at the far end, St. Mark's Basilica. Stop walking. Just look. The entire front face is covered in gold mosaic, not gold-colored, actual gold leaf pressed into glass tiles, mounted across the upper arches and the domes above. In full midday sun, it does not look like a building. It looks like a furnace, like something borrowed from a different world, which in a sense it is. The style is Byzantine, not the Gothic you would find in Paris, not the heavy Romanesque of Cologne. The domes are round. The proportions come from Constantinople. This building was designed around a style imported from the Eastern Roman Empire and rebuilt and redecorated across 3 centuries. Above the main entrance, on the terrace balcony, 4 bronze horses, taken from the Hippodrome of Constantinople in 1204. They are over 1,500 years old. They stand looking out over the square as if they own it. In Venice they do. The square is busy. Merchants cross it quickly toward the arcades. A group of clergy walks in close formation toward the basilica's side entrance. 2 officials in long dark robes emerge from the building on the right, the Doge's palace, and stop to speak in low voices. Scaffolding covers parts of the palace facade. The great Gothic structure Venice is known for will take most of the next century to complete. What stands here now is older, heavier, less decorated, but still powerful enough to make every visiting ambassador understand exactly where they are standing. Inside that building, Doge Pietro Gradenigo governs. His Serrata law has just permanently closed the Great Council to new families. Venice is becoming more controlled, more stable, and less open, all at the same time. The Campanile bell rings midday. The square clears slightly. But there is one part of this city you have not seen, and it explains every ship, every spice, and every gold mosaic you have seen today. Follow the Eastern Canal. The arsenal is ahead.
Let's walk east to the arsenal, where Venetian power is built.
The walls here are different from the rest of the city. Tall, thick, red brick, military, and from inside, even from outside at the gate, the noise is constant. Hammering, sawing, the sharp crack of wood under pressure, men shouting measurements across wide open sheds. This is the Arsenale di Venezia, founded in 1104, massively expanded since. By 1300, it covers 32 hectares at the eastern edge of the city. The largest industrial complex in medieval Europe, you cannot enter without state permission. Stand at the gate and understand what you are looking at. This is not a shipyard in the way you might understand one. A few men working slowly on a single hull over the course of months. The arsenal operates like nothing else in this century. Different teams work on different parts of every ship at the same time. A keel in one shed, hulls planked in the next, masts fitted separately, oars shaped under a different roof. Pre-built parts are carried along internal canals and added in sequence. Supplies staged and loaded in order. This is a manufacturing system, a proto-assembly line, working in the year 1300. When the arsenal reaches its full peak, it will produce a completely equipped war galley in a single day, not started, not framed, completed, outfitted, ready to sail. The workers here are called arsenalotti, between 1,000 and 3,000 of them, depending on the year and the state's need. They are paid regularly, remarkable in a century when most workers are paid by the day or the job. They live near the yard. Their children grow up together. Their loyalty belongs to Venice before anything else. Venice's power is not its army, it is its fleet, and every fleet starts here. In 1204, Venice provided the ships that moved an entire crusade and redirected it toward Constantinople. Without the arsenal, that does not happen. Without that sack, the wealth that built everything you have seen today does not exist. Every hammer strike you, here right now, is building the next century of Venetian power. If this reconstruction is worth your time, a like or a subscription helps us keep making them. No pressure, just grateful you're here. Now, back to 1300. The afternoon light is dropping, one more stop. And it is the one that explains how all of this actually works.
Come with me back to the Rialto. There is one building we must see.
The large stone building on your right is the Fondaco dei Tedeschi, the German trading house, established in 1228, still running, still full. Look at the ground floor arcades, wide arches, a large courtyard behind. The building has 4 levels: ground floor, warehouses, upper floors, offices, and roughly 200 sleeping quarters for German merchants. Those merchants handed over their weapons at the entrance. Every weapon, given to a Venetian official called the Fontega in exchange for a room key. The rules are simple: no weapons inside, no gambling, no women brought in at night. In exchange, you are free to trade, and the Republic will protect your goods. Venice welcomes every foreign merchant, and it controls every foreign merchant completely. Every transaction inside this building is taxed. Every purchase, every sale, every contract. The Venetian state collects a percentage of all of it. Greek merchants have their own fondaco. Armenian traders have theirs. Jewish merchants operate under separate but similarly strict rules. Arab traders, Turkish buyers, each group contained, each group tracked, each group contributing to the same treasury. The word fondaco itself comes from the Arabic fonduk, a house of trade. Venice learned this system from the Islamic merchants it traded with for centuries. And then Venice perfected it. Venice has trading posts in Constantinople, Alexandria, Beirut, Cyprus, Crete, and Crimea. A contract signed in this courtyard this afternoon is legally binding in Cairo. Near the door, an Armenian merchant is in a slow argument with a Venetian broker over the weight of a silk bale. It has been going for 30 minutes. Both men know exactly where it will end. This is commerce as theatre, and the audience is the state, collecting its share when the curtain falls. The light is going, cooking fires are starting, the salt air is changing, something warmer underneath it now. Garlic, onion, bread. The taverns are opening. Follow the voices.
Our last stop. A tavern by the canal. Night is falling.
The torches appear before the sun has fully set. Not because it is dark yet, but because Venice gets dark faster than anywhere else. The alleys are narrow, the buildings are tall. Shadows arrive early here, and they arrive all at once. A tavern near the Rialto is already full. Dock workers, sailors, a group of craftsmen who finished early. 2 men from a Genoese vessel trying to order wine in a dialect nobody fully understands. Wine arrives anyway. Understanding follows. The food is simple: flat bread, bean soup thick enough to stand a spoon in, salted fish, always fish, everywhere in this city. Vegetables brought by boat this morning from the farming islands of the lagoon. The wine is from Crete, a Venetian-controlled island whose vineyards have been producing for the Republic since 1204. It is rough and it is cheap, and no one here complains. Step outside. Stand at the edge of the water. The canal is dark. The torchlight from the window behind you makes a broken orange line across the surface, stretching and closing with every small movement of the water. Listen. No wheels. No hooves. The working boats have stopped. The only sounds are water, distant voices, and somewhere above, the slow strike of the campanile bell marking the hour. Venice at night is the strangest thing about Venice. Every other city in Europe goes quiet at curfew because the streets go empty. Stone streets, wooden shutters, a watchman's boots on cobblestone. Here the streets were never streets, they are canals, and water does not go quiet the way stone does. It breathes, it shifts, it reflects. Somewhere not far from where you're standing, Marco Polo is home. He came back from 24 years in Asia to find that nobody believed him. He spent last year in a Genoese prison. This year he returned to Venice, to these canals, to this salt air. He married a woman named Donata Badoer. He is starting again. His book is already circulating. Maps of China, descriptions of deserts and courts, and a ruler named Kublai Khan that Europeans have never heard of. Most Venetians think he exaggerated. Some think he invented it entirely. 200 years from now, a sailor named Columbus will read his book and decide to sail west to reach the east. And everything will change. But tonight, in 1300, this city does not know what is coming. It does not know that the Portuguese will one day find a direct sea route to India and bypass Venice entirely. It does not know that the spice trade that built these palaces will simply go around it. Tonight, Venice is the center of the world. It does not feel like a city with an expiry date. The torches burn low. The last gondola passes without a sound. The water stills. Venice does not sleep. It floats.
That was Venice in the year 1300. I hope you liked it. Feel free to leave a comment and a like, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.